We are speaking with Quincy Dagelet today, co-founder and CEO of Crowny. We're going to talk about what are the problems we have today in the advertising industry and how his latest project, Crowny, is going to solve this problem. Hello, Quincy. Good to have you here. Before we dive into your project, could you tell us about yourself first?
Hey, first of all, thank you, Peter, for having me. I appreciate you taking the time to interview us about Crowny. And sure, yeah, I'll give a short introduction about myself. So, what I've previously done is I co-founded StageMark, which was the biggest internship application in the Netherlands, which still have over 200,000 subscribed brands to it, and they still fulfill over 500K internships per year. I sold it to the government approximately 2 years later. From there on, I moved into more of the marketing space, kind of built my network up there, went into Facebook marketing, which kind of like a big thing right now, but I kind of did that like 7 years ago, purely because there was a lot of money to be made and focused on small, medium-sized enterprises, but it was kind of boring because it wasn't like anything really cool to do or not really exciting in my opinion. And like a year or two later, I got the opportunity to invest in a company which was called Mr. Friendly, which was a company with waterless toilets with a media device in it. So basically, as a man, when you were peeing, you would literally see an ad. So we grew that company in the Netherlands to the biggest one in the wet rooms, and eventually went over to the US, opened an office there in Las Vegas, and I exited that company around a year and a half later. And from there on, I gained a lot of experience with how the whole media industry worked, like what problems are occurring, and like how much money is actually going to waste. And on the other side, how much like media agencies or basically intermediaries are charging like smaller brands, which in my opinion was like absurd and should have been disrupted very quickly. And yeah, afterwards went into the crypto space, been there since early 2017. Yeah, definitely. And met a lot of people, done some public speaking in Asia mostly. And from there on, co-founded Crowny with my partners, Mark and Stefano, which I will tell more about in a bit. And here we are today having this interview with you.
Great, very, very impressive background, and definitely you sounds like you know the media and marketing industry inside out. So this Crony project that you founded is targeting the advertising industry, and this industry has been around for a long time and it's ever evolving. And many people kind of are upset about the industry right now because they feel like their privacy and other things are being violated. So could you tell us what do you see are the problems in the advertising industry and how is your project Crowny going to solve it?
Okay, so sure, yeah, I'll answer that one. But first of all, let me give a short introduction about what Crowny is, what it does. So with Crowny, we are able to connect and reward users for engaging with their favorite brands, while we can ensure brands to reach the right target audience because we are creating an application where users fill in whatever they prefer to see. And based on that, we can provide them with relevant content and offers based on their preferences, and we allow them to earn Crowny tokens, which is the token side. And on the other side, we are also building a loyalty point mechanism on the Solano chain, and users could subscribe to certain brands there, and we are able to create like wall loyalty programs for any brand around the world for free. So that's like a short breakdown about Crowny. So, which problems are occurring within the advertising space? I personally would say there are too many, like way too many. But one of them, which is standing out to me, that's like a waste, like a big waste of money. There is like over 50% of the ad impressions right now, they go and see. Media agencies don't even know who they are targeting. It's like a big monopoly, which is controlled by either media agencies or by Facebook and Google. and people are really getting tired of them. And you can really see that because a lot of users find ads very intrusive and annoying, while on the other hand, people are saying that they are fine with receiving ads as long as they are relevant. They would get something back for it. Because personally, if I would something which I like and which is timed based on me wanting to see it, it's okay. And I think most of my friends who probably you as well could agree with that. While on the other hand, if people outside of me are controlling what I see and I don't like it, and I'm just able to see anything, I don't like it. And you can clearly see that 84% of the customers are saying that they want more control over their personal data, which is what we as Crowny are giving back to the user. Because if you fill in the application that you only like one thing, that's the only thing you're going to be reached out to. So the application you have, you can use it very actively by subscribing to more channels, or you can use it very passively by just saying, okay, I only prefer this part, and that's the only one or only company basically in that case who can reach out to you. So that's kind of what we are trying to solve and like the problems which are right there in the current situation.
And let's talk about your team. Definitely sounds like you have a lot of experience and are suitable to tackle this space. But how do you gather a team of people with like-minded or lots of experience to help you out on this journey?
Yeah, I think I met Mark, who's the CEO of Crown. I met Mark a couple of years ago because he was the one who built the whole media system behind Mr. Friendly, which was called Twinside Media. I think Mark has over 30-year plus experience in IT, so we always call him the older guy in the room, but he brings that kind of experience to us, like to the younger me and the younger Stefano, who's the CTO of Crowny. And he's like the perfect bridge between both of us because he has that experience. He has formerly functioned as a CTO for multiple companies. So he knows what our CTO can do, what he is capable of. While on the other hand, he has a lot of hands-on experience in running a business, so that's where he helps. That's the reason why he's the COO of Crowny. While on the other side, we have Stefano. Stefano was previously a full stack developer, studied on the university. Basically, the university was too easy for him. He left the university. He chose several studies, but yeah, nothing which really tied into him, but the only thing he really liked was IT. So Stefano has experience in building several applications and also platforms, and most of them were focused on tools with interactive software systems which were applied to the advertising industry. So I would say there's quite some experience from like the C layer of the company, and we are only growing. We have a great team with Dennis, Davrin, Dave, Ina as well. And on the other side, we are working with some excellent advisors in the name of Jared, who's like a venture partner of Rarestone. We have Reggie from Gather Network, who has a company also crypto space, which have like a 50 mil plus market cap. We have Rob van Roy, who is like for the strategic advice and investments. He's like a former director of the ING Bank, which is one of the biggest in the world. And he went into the VC space. He invested in the companies, and he's now a venture partner at another place. And we have some in-house for legal stuff too, because you never know it with crypto, and you can always better be prepared than than be sorry, right? So
Yeah, sounds like a well-rounded team with lots of experience in both the advertising industry and also in blockchain industry. And let's talk about this Crowny project is targeted to deploy on Solana, and this is very interesting because there's most of the project they go for Ethereum or Polkadot or a few others. Why Solana for you guys? Could you tell us your decision process?
yeah, so through one of our advisors, we needed something which was basically like super cheap and fast to interact with. So we were looking into several companies like We were also looking to like layer two solutions, so like a Medic network, like these kind of things, but mostly to Cosmos, to Stellar, and also to Polkadot. And eventually we got mentioned about Solana, and this was, I would say, in around October, probably September, October, somewhere around that time. And I had like a meetup with some friends in Dubai, and of which one of the guys was Charles Reed, and he's like the CEO of Rarestone Capital, which is an investor of Crowny as well. And through his network, we met someone else, and they mentioned like, yeah, try Solana. So I told Stefano like, hey, let's try Solana. And I've never seen him so hyped before from a tech perspective about a project before, and it was Solana. So connections we already built in the last years from the ecosystem, we get introduced to Serum and to some guys there, and yeah, we had a couple good conversations, and we felt even more confident in building on Solana. And as you can see, probably this is going to be outdated by the time you all post it, but literally yesterday we announced that we all received a grant from the EcoSerum Fund, which is really amazing. And we are super excited to share with the whole community because there are just that few recipients which receive such a grant. So to get back to the point about why we chose Solana, it's super cheap, and we needed that for a lot of transactions, which we're going to do with a loyalty system. On the other side, we needed something which was fast because we want to give the user the best experience. So we don't want the user to be standing, say, at a coffee shop or anything, and he has to wait for his points to arrive. While right now it's almost like, well, it's there, it's like instantly. And those are the two main reasons why we chose Solana. And the third reason would be like the team which is behind it and how amazing they've progressed in the last months. And you can see everyone hyping up like the whole Solana ecosystem, how it's been growing like insane. And some of my friends call it like Polkadot season was in Q1 and Sol season is going to start in Q2, right? So I hope that's the case. And I'm pretty confident Solana is going to do very, very well. So, yeah.
Yes, congratulations on securing the ecosystem fund from Solana. And this definitely put you guys in a different league in terms of the competition landscape, because that is a very competitive fund to receive from. Let's move forward to your roadmap. I believe that you guys have put a lot of work into this project. Could you tell us what has been done so far, and what are the next steps?
So we've been developing a lot on the background already. And one of the things we want to do for like the next quarters is really engage with all our users and have them tell us what they like about it and give them on a weekly base updates about the application, how it's progressing. So they can be very involved. They can choose like, okay, do we prefer like a white background? Should it be purple? Should it be gold? But everything, of course, needs to be aligned with our brand colors, but brand guidelines, sorry. But on the other hand, we want to have the users deciding or giving their vote to what they like because we are building something for the consumer at the end of the day. And that's really important for us. And besides that, we are implementing new features already. We're working on basically the NFT part. We're working on like setting up our multi-trigger campaigns. And what we have right now is we have like a QR code campaign, which you do. On the other side, you could do geofencing campaigns and like the push notification, which you would receive on your phone. While we're trying to find a multi-trigger, and the multi-trigger would mean to combine certain elements within those campaigns to each other so that they could also interact with each other, such as I'm sending you a notification on your phone. After that notification you receive, you could walk into, let's say, a geofence, and based on the geofence, you would enter the store. You would purchase your new pair of GCs or something. You would go in there, you purchase them, and you would see on your app, hey, you receive an X amount of discount because you actually went into the store because you like shoes or something. And that's eventually what we're trying to build, like a circular economy with all the brands around us. But in the beginning, we are purely focusing on crypto brands. The reason being is all the brands in the crypto ecosystem are able to partner up with each other as long as you're providing value for the others community, which I think we can because we have something very simple, which is a loyalty system with upsell to reach new users. So we would highly encourage the brands which are listening to this one to just reach out to me or to you or to anyone from our team, and we can set it up. We are more than willing to support other projects as well, which you can also clearly read in our Medium posts. And yeah, that's where we're trying to focus on because we want to have an application live in a couple months after the launch. The reason being is we don't want to launch something where the user doesn't get what he deserves, right? So we want to sign up certain brands prior to that, then launch it as a big event and give the users actually what they deserve. That's like valuable content from the brands they like and they want to subscribe to. But most importantly, engagement from their side to be able to select what they prefer to see from the beginning, and that's who we are basically targeting afterwards.
Yes, I agree with your go-to-market plan to go after the crypto space first, because I think in this space, everyone is very much open-minded and everyone is looking for partnership or value-add opportunities. And I think once you have a solid foundation in crypto, it will be much easier to go after the mainstream brands. And hopefully by then, their mentality will be like, yes, this is like blockchain is the next big thing, and they would need to partner with like blockchain projects.
Yeah, I completely agree, but most importantly, like if I ping another crypto project, there's always like one connection in between, right? So if you want to meet someone from another project which you don't know, it takes us less than 10 minutes to the person from that company to set up like a Telegram chat. And even though it's like 2 a.m. or 1 p.m., nobody cares. You can just message them and it's very straightforward. It's very quick. Well, if you would go to certain brands in the beginning already, you would have to wait for a week to set up a meeting. You have to explain the whole crypto side. You don't want to do it. You want to focus on your community, and our first members will be primarily focused on crypto already because this is the industry we are in. So it makes a lot of sense to focus on the crypto user first, from there on build it out, and from there on approach bigger brands. And that's also why I'm saying, or we are saying as Crowny, that we are focusing on more of the small medium sized enterprises, because saying you are going to target like Nike, Adidas, or the biggest tier one brands, I don't think that's going to be possible like in the first days, because they want to see your product is working. They want to see like revenue. You want to give them something so they can actually use it. While if you would present them with like a half plan and yeah, let's do a pilot or something, it's not going to work. You want to crush it when you're going to work with one of these companies. And that's the reason why we chose for a strategy to focus on the crypto users first.
Yes, and with Crowny entering in the advertising space, starting with crypto, where do you see Crowny and the advertising industry look like in 2 years' time?
I think the advertising industry is only going to grow. The reason being, people are more on their phones. Like the bigger brands, they are willing to pay more for engagement. They are also to pay more for a lead, and like the whole algorithms of like Facebook, Google, and from the other agencies, they are only increasing instead of decreasing. So I think that's only going to go up. People have more money, so they are willing to spend more. So there are only reasons why online would grow and offline as well. So I think, yeah, that sums it up pretty well. If I were like, as an example, I was looking at, I'm a user of Brave as well. And even though people would say or compare us to Brave, I highly value what they are doing for the industry because I think it's good. And when we made this pitch deck like a couple months ago already, I think Brave had a market cap of around 800 million, and yesterday was around 2.4 billion. That's like how insane this industry is growing, right? So that says something about we are launching with an initial market cap of approximately 520K. And you can do the math if we are able to establish growth in the same percentage as companies like Brave did or others within the industry. And we are very confident on achieving those goals without saying or without giving financial advice right now to buy something. But yeah, I'm super excited about the future, especially with the brands which are in the ecosystem. And I think True One is crushing it within the crypto ecosystem right now.
And thank you for making the time today. I know you're super busy running this Crowny project, and it's moving really fast. And before we close, could you tell us viewers where to follow your project?
Yeah, sure. So they can follow it on Twitter, on Telegram, and also Medium. We'll be publishing most of our stuff on Medium, like very direct, so it's more like in depth. If you want to be updated on a shortly notice, like rush messages or to engage with the community, then you should definitely go to the Telegram channel, which I will provide the links with to you afterwards, so you can have a nice put this link in the comments, so the users can actually select it and choose to go there. While for the more B2B side, and if brands want to reach out, they can always reach out to me personally on LinkedIn, or they can follow Crowny on LinkedIn as well, and I'm sure to follow up with them. So no need to thank me about being here. I appreciate you taking your time as well, and that we are able to have this great interview together. And yeah,
Well, thank you, Quincy. It's a great chat with you. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more content.